Hello, welcome to Kate's Egg. Today I am learning how to run my dad's new combine and I'm going to try it out.
Yeah, scary, isn't it?
No, it's not. So this one's pretty much identical to the one I've been driving, except it has dual wheels on the outside.
Right.
Which my dad thinks makes the combine a little bit rougher to drive because you hit more of the bumps. All right, I'm taking the reins with the new combine. I had to grab the radio because this combine wasn't here before we started harvest. We didn't have it equipped with a new radio, which we usually have new radios in all of our equipment before harvest. It's our way of communication here on the farm. This drives and rides exactly like mine. It just has the duals on the outside. If you haven't watched my new combine to the farm video, definitely go check it out. I think that this row is going the right way. We'll see when I get up here. Well, actually, we want to get whatever's closest over here first. Idle the combine down, put the back in, the inside of the combine, then put the header on, let it catch, rev it up with the rabbit speed button, drop the header to the ground, and go in the wheat swath sort of slow to start out, and then you can add speed as you progress. These are very small wheat swaths in this field. It was recrop on lentils, so that's why you're seeing that. My dad and Uncle Chris adjusted the wheels at dinner to put this header a little bit lower because you can lower it with this button, but it'll really only go as low as the wheels are. This combine was leaving a little bit of wheat behind it on the ground because it wasn't set low enough. Even though there's not much wheat here, you still have to go 3.3 or pretty slow because it's hard to get the wheat off right on the ground. So by going slower, it allows the combine more time to pick up the wheat that's really stuck on the ground. We want to maximize the wheat we can pick up here because this field isn't going to be very profitable. Occasionally you can stop the combine, pick up your header, back up, look to see how well the combine is picking up the wheat, but it seems to be doing a lot better now. It's super exciting to be driving my dad's new combine. I'm thrilled. It is absolutely amazing. It's a lot similar to the one I'm driving now, but it's always very fun to drive the new equipment that comes to the farm and try it out. My dad's mostly been driving it because he wants to figure everything out and all of the buttons and details about it before he puts anyone else on it. My grain tank looks full here, and if you can tell, my grain tank looks like it has a lot of straw and chaff in it, but it really doesn't. And the only way you know how much straw and chaff is actually in your grain tank, which is everything that's not the kernels, is when you unload into the grain cart, because all of the chaff, which you're going to have some because the combines aren't perfect, they have a lot of wheat that go through them. All the chaff for some reason builds up right by the window and on the window, so you can only really tell if you have clean wheat when you're unloading into the grain cart or truck. The wheat right here says 6 bushels an acre, but this is not calibrated and it's not correct. So it's probably doing around maybe 20 bushels an acre here realistically, which is not very good. An average crop I would say would be around 50 bushels an acre, and then a really great crop would be about 70 bushels an acre or more. 40 bushels per acre, that could be on the verge of average. We usually get more than that, and we've had some good years, but you also have to recognize that with good years, there also has to come bad years, and that's kind of what we're experiencing this year with having the drought. I'm noticing that the steering wheel is a lot easier to move on this. It's not quite as stiff, and also the hydrostat is a lot more sensitive than on my combine. So that's a couple things I'm noticing right now off the bat. We're just finishing up this part of the field, and then we'll be moving into the next field over there. Jim is running our other combine, the one that I usually drive, and then when our 9670 STS gets fixed, Jim will run that combine.
You don't have anything after this road, do you?
Yeah, some down at the very end.
It's totally up to you, whatever you prefer.
Might as well get this field and then I'll unload.
Dig it.
Jim has been our swather this year, so he'll be running our third combine when it is ready to go. John Deere has one-day air shipped the last seal that's needed, but it hasn't arrived yet, and one-day air isn't always one-day air. There seems to be some rocks right here, which is never good for the fingers, which is what you call the little things that help bring the wheat in. So I'm just going to lift my header up a little bit here for these rocks. I don't want to break anything on the combine. That's always horrible, and rocks are usually the cause of that. I think there's some more rows back here. Jim's roading back. My row finishes right here in the middle of the field, and then I'll road back as well to go and get some of those last rows. That other combine is looking a little bit full, but he'll have room. I mean, there's not very much wheat here. I'll probably have room also. I'll just go ahead and let my combine clean out a little bit, which means let the rest of that row's grain process before I shut the internal part of the combine off, the back, and then the header. Then I'm just going to road back down here and get the last rows. My dad's got the drone out right now. It's really hard to see these tiny wheat rows and half wheat swaths when there's hardly any wheat to begin with. So you really have to be looking out for them. I'm going about 8.3 miles an hour in the field. I'm maxed out on speed in second gear, rabbit speed, so full throttle. Pulling up to this very small row. Idle my machine down by pressing turtle speed button. Turn the back of the machine on, let it kick in, turn the header on, let the header catch up, and then rabbit
come
speed.
down here. Okay.
Are you sure that row's headed that direction? I was looking at it and it looked like it's headed the right direction the way I'm at.
You're probably right. Go ahead.
I set my header on the ground by pressing the programmed button number 2. Yeah, this is going the right direction. That was hard to tell, but I think it's going the right direction.
Job.
This wheat is just tiny. I'm staying at the very edge of my swath and not feeding the wheat in the middle. It doesn't really need to be right here because it's not so huge that it matters, but we've got Jim right here and I don't want to hit his combine. Oh, and then this row, he was probably thinking it's this row to the right of me, which is going the right direction when I get down here and head north again. Wow, our neighbor was harrowing his field and it really made a cloud of dust. We've got Darcy parked right here in front. I'm going to spin around and grab this little tiny row right here. And I've said all these rows here are tiny, but this is really, really small. There's a lot of these ginormous grasshoppers in the field. It's pretty crazy. I'm still going around 3.3 miles an hour. This is just really hard wheat to pick up because it falls right to the ground and there's really none of it. I'm gonna go get this little wheat bit here that Jim left. I think that's it for this part of the field. I'll go dump in the grain cart is what I'll do. Sometimes I don't know where I'm going. I thought that I had to line up this different way with the cart, but I really have to line up this way, so that's what I'm going to do. I do agree with my dad though, you definitely feel more of the bumps with the double tires. Jim and I are both going to dump right now. Well, where's the grain cart driver headed? Oh, it looks like, I don't know, is he gonna go around? I don't understand what's happening here. I mean, the grain cart driver could just stay parked. We're dumping on the, okay. We're dumping on the go with not even picking up wheat. That just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, we're going 4 miles an hour. That's saving our cart driver really no time to get to the car. That's not saving us very much time either. It's just causing more risk by dumping on the go to lose grain. Well, this is an interesting grain cart experience. Jim in front of me is unloading on the go without picking up wheat, and so I'm just following behind, driving straight. Well, kind of straight. We're going at a bit of an angle. That was the oddest dump on the go I've ever experienced. Now this has a lot longer of an auger, so I have to really pay attention on lining this up and get it really right. Oh my gosh, that's exciting. I lined it up perfectly. I really paid attention and tried to line up right dead center, and I did it. So that's really makes me happy because it's super hard when you've got a really long auger because of the duals and you're driving a different combine. It's also just really hard to line up to things in general. As you can see, the grain's starting to come out of my tank. It's actually looking like it's really clean in there, but it does look like it has a lot more straw and chaff than my grain tank does. So that has to do with the sieves, which you can close up inside and you're concave, but you can't process the wheat if you close it too far. So it's really just a matter of trying to figure out what that perfect spacing is. I'm going to shut the button off now and put my auger back, and then our grain cart driver just took off and I'm taking off too. Wow, I got that lined up. Oh gosh, that was exciting. That's the first time I've ever tried it in this combine, so I'm really pleased with that. Now we're going to get this other half of the field. We swapped in 2 parts. I'm just lining up to my next wheat swath behind Jim here. Slow down. Always remember to put in turtle speed and idle your machine down, because it's easier on all of the moving parts to put them in at the turtle speed. Now we're trying to collect this non-existent wheat. It's also really hard to stop the wheat from trying to roll in when you don't have as much wheat. The more wheat you have, the kind of easier it flows into the combine to an extent. If you have huge swaths, you have to go really slow, but it's always easier when you have more of the wheat. It kind of hooks together in the swath and comes in nicely. When you have very little, it rolls on the front of your header like this, so you have to adjust belt speed, which is what brings the wheat in. You have to adjust your actual speed. You have to adjust the height of your header with the wheels, like my dad and Uncle Chris did at dinner. We're going around 3.3, 3.4 miles an hour. Harvest is going by really fast for that reason. There's not much wheat. I'm going to stop my combine, pick up the header with the programmed button number 1, and back up just to see how well I'm picking up this wheat. I don't know, it's not picking it up as well as I'd like it to. As my dad says, you need tweezers for some of it, and only lay your header on the ground so much without hurting it and digging the fingers into the ground. Oh, this field was cut into numerous sections, so we're gonna go right up this way. I see what we're doing. Although there are 2 passes that go all the way around the field.
Shear pin break or what?
My dad asked our grain cart driver if a shear pin broke because there must not be any grain coming out of the auger. Nobody answered because I don't think anyone's in the cabs. They're outside probably trying to fix it. Still really smoky here in Montana. This is what the new combine to our Montana farm looks like. Here are the controls. Over here, I just have to press a check mark on that. It's not correct in its bushels per acre. This is probably around 20 per acre, but it's not great wheat anyway. I've got my Kate's Egg tote bag riding in my passenger seat. Here's what the wheat swath looks like. I'm driving 3.5 miles an hour right now. As you can see, my return auger, which is the top one, is not even close to maximum capacity. Oh no, I think my dad might have lost the drone.
According to the thing, it should be fairly close to this area though.
He doesn't know where it went. Yikes, that's not good. I don't think it's in the air anymore. My dad's getting his pickup to come and look for it. It's never good to lose your drone in a Montana wheat field because, as you can see, they are massive and extraordinarily huge, so it would take forever to find it. And especially the gray being kind of a similar color to the dirt. Put my auger out. I'm unloading in the grain cart right now. There's my dad way out there, that tiny little speck, looking for his drone in the field. I'm headed over to park the combine right now in the summer fall. Just parked the combine. I'm going to idle it down for the evening. I've got my radio right here. I'm getting ready to get out of the combine right now. I just turned it off and we're going to head home for the evening. Oh no, it's okay. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed me learning how to drive our new combine and driving it for the first time ever. It's super exciting. I'll give you a little walk around tour of it. It's parked in the summer fallow field, so just in case we get lightning, it doesn't start on fire. Here are the dual wheels it has. The tires are a little bit smaller, but there are 2 of them here. We've never had a combine like that before, so it's pretty cool. It's a 9870 STS with a bullet rotor. Here's what the back looks like where the straw comes out. The John Deere logo. We love John Deere here on our Montana farm. And then the ladder to get in the cab.